Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So it's about that time we need to start thinking about Christmas cards. So if you want to see how I'm going to put a couple of them together using the gorgeous Wonderland collection from Kaisercraft, then just keep watching. So I did ask you guys over on YouTube when I was doing my haul of this one if you wanted to see the Wonderland collection first or the Sparkle collection. And most people said Wonderland, so we're going to go with that. So this is going to be a very green, kind of natural feeling kind of collection. So we're going to see if we can make two cards out of this piece of cardboard. I'm going to try. So I've already decided I want these cards to be 14 centimeters high. And then I want them to be 10 centimeters wide. Then I'm just going to grab my scoreboard in and we're going to make sure we score this in the right spot. So obviously if you guys have seen me use this scoreboard before, you know that it is in inches, not in centimeters, and I've cut that wrong, but that's okay. So I'm actually at 19.7, so 19.7 divided by 2 is 9.85, so I'm going to get as close to that as I can. Once we've folded it over, we can trim it to make it right. So I'm just being a bit careful pushing through because I have had bits where I'm scoring that go through and it's just completely and utterly pushed through the cardboard, so I don't want to do that. That's horrible, but anyway, we can fix that. I'm just making sure that's straight. That's seriously the most horrible measure and fold I've ever done, but anyway, we're going to work with it. I think that's my favourite thing about making cards. You can mess it up and completely fix it. I'm just going to put that back in here and just cut off the excess. Go. And there we go. Now we have our card. We also have a lot of mess over to the side, which I'm just going to move. Righto. So my idea with this is to kind of make it a little bit rustic. So I'm grabbing the notepad, sorry. And I want to grab this sort of baggy kind of material, kind of paper. And it's going to look cool up against that craft paper, but I'm actually going to tear it. So I'm going to measure out roughly how big that is. So I'm going to go with 9. So I'm going to mark out 9 here. And this is being really rough now because it doesn't matter. And I'm going to tear down that line. I'm just trying to remember if I want it. The tear line needs to be at the top. So it doesn't matter if this doesn't stay straight. The idea is that it kind of is a bit messy anyway. You do want to keep it as, not as straight as you can because that's not the right thing, but so it's got a bit of straightness to it. And then you want to do the same thing down this side. And the more detail you can give it here, as in the more sort of white that comes up, the cooler it's going to look when you stick it down. Now I don't know about you, but I think that looks really cool. So I'm going to stick that down just with glue tape, so nothing particularly fancy here. You want the edges to stay a bit frayed, so don't get too close to the edge with your glue. Kind of feels like it's just sort of popped out. That's how the feeling I'm getting there. And I'm going to grab the die cuts out. This one's going to be really simple. We'll do a bit more, not complicated, but we'll do something else on the other one. I've also got my sticker book here, so I'm just trying to decide if I want to put in like a bit of washi. I'm going to put this sticker down here, so it's going to sort of sit right up against the fold and then just go straight across. Actually, we'll do it this way instead. That way it goes all the way across the fold. And then just like washi tape, we're just going to cut the excess off. It's obviously really easy on this side. The other side, my best tip is just fold it in half and just cut it off. then you can kind of rub that edge and a little bit on here as well. If you wanted to, you could bring that all the way around, which I probably should have done that. Bring it all the way around. You could put like a little die cut or something on this side as well, but that's okay. And then it's kind of up to you how big you want to go here. If you want to put a sentiment on the front, something like that, Christmas isn't a season, it's a feeling, that could be cool. Just going through everything I've got here. No, it needs to be darker. And it's kind of a fun thing here to kind of get the gist of it. It's just testing things out to see what looks good and what doesn't. I like that there actually. Just wondering if I've got a sticker instead of that cardboard. I'm going to put the die cut on. And then I'm going to put the Believe in the Magic of Christmas in the middle, but I'm going to put it on some foam tape. So I'm going to put the tree on first. Then we'll just grab a big bit of foam tape. So I'm just going to double this up, as in width wise, not height wise. Put one bit there and then one bit there, and that way it's got a nice sort of base. Do silver here, but I'm actually going to avoid using any silver on this particular card just because I want it to have that really plain, almost feels handmade. Like, I know it's handmade, but you know what I mean. It feels a very rustic kind of card. So that's just sort of your front. On the inside, it's up to you whether you want to use a sticker or if you want to use one of the die cuts. Grab this one here that says warmest thoughts and wishes, warmest thoughts and best wishes, and put that in the middle there. I always find with cards that I prefer to put the sentiment up just a little bit higher, because you always write dear and then it sort of feels like it's in the middle of the card and you don't have as much room to write. So this allows you that little bit of extra room at the bottom. So that's my first little card, and I think that's absolutely gorgeous. The next one we'll add in a bit more silver, so I'm going to do the same thing with that extra bit of cardboard that was left over. I'm actually going to leave it that height. And I'm just going to fold it over without using my scoreboard. Any downside is it doesn't fold quite as nicely, but at least I know it's straight. Okay. So I'll make this one a little bit more bold. A little bit more bold. I really like that torn effect though with this paper. I think it looks really cool. Okay, so I'm going to put that down very similar to the way I did the other one. I'm just going to cut it so it sits just a little bit smaller than the card. So I always find the easiest way to do this is just to honestly line it up where you want it and just kind of mark it out. When you cut it, it'll make it square if you've got a good trimmer, which I know I do. It's the fun part of working out, again, where you're going to put stuff. I do want to use some silver on this, but I'm very aware of how busy that is. See, I think something simple works nice here, but see what we can do. My only problem but my only disappointment I guess with these stickers is just that the letters haven't been cut out properly. What we could do, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab this, well there was a bit more, there we go, that's what I want. So that's going to give a really big contrast here, and I'm actually going to grab these Merry and Bright stickers, but I'm going to cut out that bit with my knife because that's just going to drive me up the wall. So I'm just going to grab my cutting mat because I don't want to damage my desk while I do this. I'm just going to do, I want to do the Merry and Bright one. which is this one here at the top. Alright, so it's all one bit. So I'm just going to stick them down on here, and then we're going to cut it out afterwards. So I'm actually going to take advantage of these lines and actually line them up on the lines. And then when there's like the R here, I'm actually going to cut that out with my craft knife. So I'm just going to stick it down gently on here and then just cut it out as best I can. Where I can, I'm going to go more into the silver than leaving the white around the outside. Okay, this is already turning into a bit of a disaster because it's not cutting as nicely as I wanted it to. Alright, we're going to scrap that completely. Scrapping it completely. Oh, that's disappointing. But anyway. Just going to cut a really thin strip of it. I really love the belly band look. I always have. I think it looks great. We'll just stick that down. Stick it all the way down and then grab your craft knife out. If you have a ruler, you can use, like, probably should use a ruler, but you don't have to. I was just trying to find my small one there, but I can't. That way you can get that line right. So all you do here is you're pushing down hard enough to get through the first bit, but not the second bit. And the good thing is no one will look at that too closely, so if you do cut it a little bit wrong, it'll be okay. We'll put that Merry Christmas just there. And then if you wanted to, which I'm going to, you can grab this little one too with the reindeer. Just put that in the corner. And then on the inside, I'm going to stick these die cuts in purely for decoration. Well, this one at least is just purely for decoration. And the Merry Christmas is just because you need a sentiment in there. You could use a sticker, you could use anything you like. But the die cuts are great for this. And then we have two very simple but very different cards that didn't really take me all that long, but just using one collection. I think this one's probably the better of the two, but I do really love both of them. Just to show you really quickly how I make envelopes. So the way I do it is using my 123 punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. So I'm just going to grab it. So it's a little board. It actually comes with an app, which I think is awesome. So you put your envelope generator in here. You go, okay, well my card is 9.5 short. So it's the short edge. And then the tall edge is 14. You go generate, and it tells me, okay, I need a 19.8 square piece of paper. So I've grabbed this one. This is actually from the Stargazer collection from Kaisercraft, but I love that kind of wood. I think that'll look really cute as an envelope. So you need to do it to 19.8. So you grab your ruler, measure that to 19.8. You do need to be reasonably accurate here. So you've got your 19.8 square. Get that punch board back in. And then it tells me that I need to do my punch guide measurement at 8.4 centimeters. So I'm going to put this in at 8.1234. Going to score, then punch. This is a tip I learnt watching someone else do this. You score and then you punch. I don't know why that makes a difference, but it seemed to when she was making her card. So I'm going to do that too. So then you line it back up with that. Score, punch. So you've got your little envelope. Depending on if you want to, you can round the corners off. I do prefer to do that. That's just me though. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. And then just fold it up. And then it's up to you whether or not you want to have a straight bit here, or if you want to have it just popped up like that. I prefer it to be straight. So then I just mark where that joins up. And then again, completely up to you, but I'm just going to round these corners just a tints. Going to be getting the fluffies off anyway, so I might as well. Okay. Then all you do is stick that together. And there you have one perfect envelope that matches, which I think is the best part. Almost matches the kind of, the way this kind of looks. I think it kind of fits in together. The only downside is that the wood goes that way instead of straight, which I think would look better. But hey, you can't have everything. And there you've got your little envelope, and completely up to you, but you can always decorate your envelope as well. If you wanted to just chuck in a little die cut on the back there, that'll still go through the post perfectly. So that is a couple of Christmas cards using the Wonderland collection from Kaisercraft. These are very, very simple to do. I think anyone can do them with just a little bit of imagination and just a little bit of playing around with what you've got. Grab some cardboard out of your stash, put it together, and just see what you come up with. The best thing about cards, I find, is that everybody appreciates a handmade card. So even if you don't love it, even if you don't think it's the best card you've ever made, someone who gets it is just going to appreciate how much effort you put into it. So if you want to sort of play around with cards, I don't think anyone's ever going to complain about a handmade cards. So I say go for it and just give it a try. You don't have to use things from Kaisercraft. You can use whatever you happen to have. Kiki K's Christmas collection, which you saw on Wednesday, is gorgeous. That collection is just as easy to use for a card as any of the things from Kaisercraft. So grab hold of your paper lovers book and your sticker book, make something cute. I'd love to see what you do create. Tag me in anything you make on Instagram, or you can post pictures over on my Facebook or on my website. I'll link them down below for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and make sure you're subscribed to not miss any other future Christmas cards. If you do want to see more card making here on my channel, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that for you, especially this time of the year. I get really excited making Christmas cards. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic, fantastic, fantastic weekend, and I will see you again for decoration on Monday. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!